And good evening, everyone. I'm Gary Harris. SEC Media Days 2017 kicked off today at the Hyatt Regency Birmingham, the Winfrey Hotel over in Hoover. WVUA 23's Brandon Cameraman and Bethany Miller are in Hoover, and Brandon joins us now with the latest from day one. Brandon.
Another mid-July in Hoover, another SEC Media Days, and it wouldn't be SEC Media Days without talk about a coach's job status. Last year, all the talk was surrounding LSU's Les Miles and the status of his job in Baton Rouge. Well, that all turned out to be prescient as Miles was fired in September. This year, there's plenty of talk about Arkansas head coach BRET BIELEMA and his job status. The Razorbacks finished the 2016 season at 7-6, but faded down the stretch, losing 3 of their last 4, putting BIELEMA's job status in jeopardy. Today, BIELEMA and his players put up a fiery defense of his tenure in Fayetteville.
To be honest, I don't think we listen to that. I think we're obviously, no matter what the situation is, we're going to play hard for Coach B, and no matter what the situation is, we're going to play hard for each other.
The way he treats his players, I mean, he truly cares for all his players, and I mean, I couldn't say enough good things about him. So I think he's got the program headed in the right direction.
When I got there, we've coached 51 games at Arkansas. The first 20, we were tied for 14th with my good friend Mark from Kentucky for 14th out of 14. In the last 20 games, we're tied for 4th. Second in the SEC West. The only team ahead of us is Alabama. I know that's changed. If somebody can't decide the difference between 14th and 4th, I got a math class you can take.
Well, here's some math for Coach BIELEMA. 4 out of 5. Alabama's won 4 of the last 5 SEC championship games, of course, going for its 4th straight this coming season. There's no question the Crimson Tide has dominated this conference during Nick Saban's time at the capstone. But SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey said he has no concerns about an apparent lack of parity.
We're a competitive endeavor. And in a competitive endeavor, teams win, teams lose. You expect that to vary over time, but you've identified that it's been a trend. People work hard to overcome that trend, and people work hard to keep that trend. I think that makes for good competition, not a notion of parity.
Besides Arkansas, day 1 of SEC Media Days featured Tennessee and LSU. All 3 teams are on Alabama's 2017 schedule, and all 3 teams were pounded with questions about the Crimson Tide, and all 3 said they have no chance against Nick Saban and the Tide. That's not true, of course. It's SEC Media Days. It's mid-July. Everybody's optimistic in Hoover, and we'll continue to cover that optimism throughout the rest of the week. Live in Hoover, Brandon Cameraman, WVUA 23 Sports.
Thank you, Brandon. Great job by you and Bethany. We certainly will. And you mentioned Coach Orgeron and Coach Butch Jones. We will hear from them tonight on the news at 10 o'clock. SEC Media Days, it's here.